Hey everyone, Aaron Biebert here, Director of A Billion Lives, and behind me is the Palace of Culture here in Warsaw, where we are at the Global Forum on Nicotine, getting ready for our European premiere tomorrow. Very exciting. Over the last month, since our world premiere at Dock Edge in New Zealand, we've been having a lot of questions. I'm seeing a lot of new faces here since the FDA in Europe have kind of been doing some crooked business, and wanted to give you guys some updates and answer the top 5 most frequently asked questions that I'm seeing. Number 5, who are we? Who am I? And kind of our background. I think a lot of people seem to feel like we're some sort of crowd-funded vapors who really wanted to tell our story and make sure the world knew, what was going on. That is definitely not the case. We have not done any sort of crowdfunding. Our movie, A Billion Lives, is funded by our studio, Attention Era Media. And I'm not a vapor or a smoker, and nobody on our team is a vapor or a smoker. So actually we kind of come in with some fresh eyes with the concept. So we are definitely professionals. We do a lot of commercials, mini brand films, and some other things. This will be our first movie for theaters, but we are by no means amateurs. We have professional movie cameras and have been doing this for quite some time. So that's kind of a little bit about who we are. Number 4, why are we doing this movie, and how did we first become convinced that it was a story worth telling? Well, I used to be one of those ignorant people that thought that vapors looked like idiots and, just smoked the real thing, or, that kind of stuff. And, when the news came out that vaping was worse than, e-cigs were worse than smoking, of course that made me feel even better about myself. But when people explained that was actually a fraudulent study, I started to wonder if there was something fishy going on here, because these people were telling me that this was saving their life, and yet here it was being demonized. So I looked into it a little bit, found out that they say 1 billion people will die this century from smoking. That's the United Nations World Health Organization that came out with that. And it kind of looked like something needed to be told here. So we looked to see were there other documentaries. There weren't any that were out, and so we said this could be a really big story to tell, really important story to tell, and so that was the beginning of A Billion Lives. Number 3, can you just put this out on YouTube for free for the world to watch? That's a really good question, and one that we've given a lot of thought to, given the gravity of what we're finding, but honestly that's probably the worst idea, because then we won't have any money to market it to the public. The media will not do reviews on it. Film critics will not write reviews on this. It will not be seen on television. It will not be in theaters. It will not be on DVDs. It will not be in stores. It will not be pretty much anywhere. It won't be on iTunes. It'll literally only be on YouTube. And pretty much the only people that will see it will be vapors. Politicians won't respect it. Your mom, who wonders if you should be vaping or not, she won't respect it. Our neighbors will not respect it, because real movies don't go on YouTube for free. So the answer to that question is absolutely we will not be putting it on YouTube, because it just doesn't make sense for a real film. And number 2, the question I get a lot is, how can we help? Obviously a lot of people think this is an important topic, a lot of lives are on the line, and a lot of people have really reached out to say, how can we help? Well, the main thing that we need help with right now is spreading the word about the movie, helping share that teaser that we put out, helping share this video, helping share our other updates. We don't have a huge marketing budget. We were able to make the movie, but we don't have big studio help in marketing it, and so we need kind of an army of people who care about this topic to help bring it to the world. And so the best way to help this movie is to share stuff. Sharing is caring, and that's going to be the way that we get this movie out to the world. Number 1 is, when can we see it? Well, we've already had a bunch of releases. We had our world premiere at Dock Edge in New Zealand, and a couple days later the government there announced that they were going to reconsider their ban on nicotine vapor technology, which is how a lot of smokers have been quitting over there. We had a private screening for members of U.S. Congress and their staff in D.C. That was really great. We have our European premiere about to happen tomorrow at the Palace of Culture, and we have the Australian premiere going to be on July 10th at the Melbourne Documentary Film Festival. The U.S. and the rest of Europe, we really think need to make a big splash. You only get one chance at a first impression, so we're working on funding that. working to get interest from Hollywood, working to get a lot of media attention so that we can do this in the right way. That costs a lot of money, and so once we figure that whole thing out, we will be launching it in the U.S. Shouldn't be super long, and there's about to be some heroes here if we can get the right people to help us make that happen, so stay tuned. If you want updates, when are we going to be showing it, when is it going to be released on DVD, all that kind of stuff, just go to abillionlives.com. We have a kind of a sign up there at the top of the website. You can just put your email address up there. I don't send many updates. I think some people wish we sent more, but we do send enough when there's big things. So sign up there, stay tuned, and we will be seeing you on our Facebook page, Twitter, Instagram, and of course those email updates. So see you soon.
I almost flinch when I hear colleagues saying things about e-cigarettes that they know or they should know are completely wrong or exaggerated or scaremongering. There's too much of that going on.
It's the tobacco industry who manufactures them.
They might or might not be able to help you quit, but there are definite harms that they can cause.
We don't yet know about vaping.
The dangers of e-cigarettes are clear.
It's the same as antifreeze.
We used to have very dangerous products, and the makers of those used to lie about those.
There is the never-ending concern about the alleged effects of smoking.
The evidence is certainly inconclusive at this time.
We now have much safer products, and the public health community is lying about those.
The e-cigarette makers are making these for kids because they make chocolate and other flavors.
What's going on?
Money.
Funding.
Money is corrupting our most trusted organizations.
Money has something to do with everything.
The cover-up is real.
If you're a pharmaceutical company who's starting to see your share of the market on nicotine replacement therapy slide, what are you going to do? You're going to sit on your bum and do nothing?
Cigarette companies realize that e-cigarettes are now a threat to the old business.
And are they?
Huge threat.
165,000 kids die from secondhand smoke. Every year, 1 billion people will die this century from tobacco.
It's still a big deal. It's still, around 20% of adults are smoking in many countries. 1 in 5. That's not going away at the moment. It's certainly not going away quickly.
There is a solution, but it will cost big organizations billions of dollars. Smoking, it's good business, so they lie.
We know that they don't actually allow people to stop smoking.
Now there's even more evidence that these are a gateway to smoking regular cigarettes.
The pollution of disposable.
And the e-cigarette industry has been ripping tactic after tactic from Big Tobacco's playbook.
Today's electronic cigarettes are no better than the Joe Camels of the past.
It's about one of the biggest public health interventions potentially of all time.
If you look at e-cigarettes, growing evidence that this could be the breakthrough that we're waiting for.
1 billion people could die in the 21st century. If these things take off, potentially hundreds of millions of lives could be saved.
This is a miracle. This is, an absolute public health miracle in the making.
My whole life, I've been told that smoking is bad. Smoking will kill you. Smokers deserve to die.
I smoked for 40 years. 50 years.
I'll go to my grave smoking.
I pretty much thought that smoking was a thing of the past, part of history. I was wrong.
1 billion people dying from smoking-related diseases.
70% of current smokers want to quit.
You try and you fail, you try and you fail.
I was shocked when I found out that many people were using new ways to quit.
It's one of the biggest public health breakthroughs we've ever had.
E-cigarette.
Un cigarrillo que utiliza electricidad.
E-cigarette.
Kind of a savior.
Alternative to lighting up.
And that day, I stopped.
Those ways were being banned in more and more countries.
Easier to buy a cigarette than to buy an e-cigarette. That makes no sense.
Governments worldwide are the biggest shareholders in the revenue of cigarettes.
Dangers of e-cigarettes.
And the public health community is lying about those.
Chemical.
Dangerous.
Poisonous.
There's no evidence to back that up.
It was a fraud. People are going to die.
We don't know, but we don't know.
Chocolate,
The antifreeze.
and other flavors.
What's going on?
Seized almost 1,000 shipments.
Raided my house.
Nobody wants to talk about it. The public needs to know the truth about these products.
And they need public health people telling the truth about the risks. At least 95% less risky than smoking.
Nobody cares.
It's irresponsible.
3 black SUVs.
Disruptive change.
Illegal action. Promise.
Don't let the bastards win.
I'm going to quit.
This is the battle for 1 billion lives.
A Billion Lives. What is A Billion Lives, Rip? Well, it's a film/documentary. It premiered over in Australia already. It has not premiered here in the States. They actually had a small showing over in Washington, D.C. with a group of politicians, and supposedly it raised some eyebrows. The research that I've done on this film/documentary is from a group of guys. There's a guy by the name of Aaron Biebert, and he's a director. He's the director of the movie. He's with a company called Attention Era Media out of Milwaukee. They're not vapors. They're not smokers. They're a fresh set of eyes. They have done research. They did this whole film/documentary. Aaron Biebert, he sent me an extended clip that was like 9-10 minutes long, and it sucked me in, dude. From the time that I finished that extended clip, I was like, where's the movie? I gotta go. I gotta watch it. I think this is gonna be powerful. It's gonna shed light on a bunch of crap that a lot of people that don't vape need to know. Oh yeah, and I was fortunate enough to be able to show you guys this trailer. I got a 1-minute trailer. Aaron Biebert, thank you so much for giving me permission to post this right here. Here we go. Roll it!
1 billion people could die in the 21st century. Around 20% of adults are smoking in many countries. It's still a big deal.
Growing evidence that this could be the breakthrough that we're waiting for.
If these things take off, potentially hundreds of millions of lives could be saved.
This is a miracle.
But it will cost big organizations billions of dollars.
If you're a pharmaceutical company who's starting to see your share of the market on nicotine replacement therapy slide, what are you going to do? You're going to sit on your bum and do nothing?
You know, we used to have very dangerous products, and the makers of those used to lie about those.
The evidence is certainly inconclusive at this time.
We now have much safer products, and the public health community is lying about those.
Today's electronic cigarettes
Might not be able to help you quit.
We don't yet know.
are no better than the Joe Camels of the past.
What's going on?
Money.
Funding.
Money.
Money is corrupting our most trusted organizations.
Money has something to do with everything.
It's about one of the biggest public health interventions potentially of all time.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. So I really think this is going to be a powerful movie. I think it's going to send a powerful message. I like how it's going to send a message not only to the vapors, but to the non-vapors, people of all walks of life, and that's what we need. And another thing that drew me to this film, before I did anything, before I watched any trailers, I saw that this is an independent film, right? It's a non-biased documentary with zero funding. I saw that. Zero funding. They're using their own money for their equipment. They're using their own money to travel, to shoot this thing. It'd be one thing if these guys were vapors, you know? They don't vape. They don't smoke. That's what drew me. So down in the description, I'll post a link to A Billion Lives, their Facebook fan page. I'll post a link to their YouTube channel, A Billion Lives, to where you can watch more trailers, more interviews. I'll also post a link to where you can buy tickets to the premiere. Get ready, because I think this is going to be in theaters. Netflix will probably pick it up. It's going to be big. It's going to be big. This is Rip Trippers, and remember, smoking is dead, vaping is the future, and the future is now.